All right, get ready for one of the most amazing stories from Japan's history. A story about samurai that is so secret, you've probably never heard it before. This is the story of the Tsugaru family, Japan's secret samurai Christians. Seriously, just think about that for a second. Some of the coolest, most powerful samurai warriors in all of Japan were secretly Christians. This was at a time when that was totally forbidden, like super, super dangerous. It's an awesome story about faith, family, and being unbelievably brave. So, you ready? Let's jump into our time machine and head way back to northern Japan to meet this incredible family and uncover a secret they kept for hundreds of years. Let's do this. Okay, first up, the Lord and the Ghosts. We're going to meet our first character, a samurai lord named Tamenobu. Now, this guy had a really, really spooky problem. Even though he was this big, powerful warrior who had just won a huge war, deep down, he was totally terrified. So, what was he afraid of? Ghosts. Yeah, for real. He was convinced that the angry ghosts of the enemies he had defeated, the Nanbu clan, were out to get him. He thought these ghosts, which in Japan they call onryo, were causing all sorts of terrible things to happen. Huge storms and floods would just pop up out of nowhere. His best friends would suddenly turn on him. It just felt like his whole family had this cloud of bad luck following them around. And he believed it was all because of these angry enemy ghosts. He was getting really desperate. He felt like he needed something new, something powerful, some kind of spiritual protection that could shield his people and his family from this curse. He was looking for hope. Which brings up a pretty big question, right? I mean, how on earth does a samurai all the way up in the north of Japan even hear about Christianity? This is way before TV or the internet or anything like that. How did the message get to him? Well, it's actually a bit of a historical mystery. But here's the coolest theory. Historians think he might have heard about it from another super famous Christian samurai named Takayama Ukon. Can you imagine that? It's like a secret club of samurais sharing their faith with each other. So cool. All right, next chapter, Two Sons, a Dying Wish. This is where we get a grand dream and a totally new beginning. See, Lord Tamenobu was so taken by this new faith that it wanted his own kids to learn all about it. And his two sons, they took that wish very, very seriously. So let's meet the brothers. First, you've got Nobutake. He's the oldest son, the heir, the guy who's supposed to be the next big leader. We'll call him the dreamer. Then there's the younger brother, Nobuhira, the third son. We'll call him the disciple. Their dad was so serious about this that he actually sent Nobuhira away to the big city when he was only 11 years old, just so he could study Christianity. Wow. But let's go back to Nobutake, the older brother. His story is, well, it's pretty sad. He was really, really sick, and he just knew he wasn't going to live for very long. So more than anything, he wanted to be baptized. You know, that special ceremony where you're welcomed into the Christian family? For him, it was everything. He was in a total race against time to find that peace before it was too late. And when he finally was baptized, he was filled with so much joy and hope. It completely changed him. And it gave him this huge, awesome dream. He wanted to build a great, big, beautiful church way up north in his homeland. He even had blueprints copied from a famous church in Kyoto. But so tragically, he died when he was only 33. He never got to see his amazing dream come true. Now, what about his younger brother, Nobuhira? Well, he became a super devoted Christian. And when he was baptized, he got a new Christian name, João. And you know what João is? It's just the Portuguese way of saying John. Pretty cool, huh? So from here on out, we're going to call him Lord João. Okay, things are about to get really intense. Part 3, the Lord's Dangerous Double Life. So after his dad and big brother passed away, Lord Zhao became the new leader of the clan. But the whole country had changed. There was a new top boss in Japan called the shogun. Think of him like the most powerful general in charge of everything. And this new shogun made a scary new rule. Being a Christian was now against the law. So Lord Zhao was totally caught in the middle. The shogun, this new ruler, ordered him to hunt down every single Christian in his land. But secretly, he was a Christian. On one hand, he had the shogun's order, find all the Christians. On the other hand, he had his own secret mission, protect all the Christians. He had to pretend to be on the shogun's side, but behind the scenes, he was trying to save his friends. And if you want to know just how tough this was, just look at his family life. He had his first wife, Tatsuhime, but then, to keep his family safe from the powerful shogun, He was forced to marry the shogun's relative, Menten Hime. He literally had to hide his first wife away to protect everyone. Can you imagine having to make a choice like that? But even with all that pressure, Lord Zhuan showed these little moments of secret kindness. For example, when a group of Christian prisoners was sent to his territory, he did something so risky but so kind. He secretly arranged for a pastor to put on a disguise and sneak in to visit them, just to give them some hope. He was a hero in secret. All right, this is my favorite part, the secret on the armor. This is the ultimate proof of his hidden faith. So after years of pretending to be against Christians, a lot of people started to wonder, did Lord Zhuan actually give up his faith? Or was it all just an act? Well, the answer was hidden where everyone could see it, but only if you knew where to look. So what do you think? Did he really give up his faith for good? The proof was on something he wore in the most dangerous place you can be, on the battlefield. Yep, right there, on the armor he wore into every single battle, was a cross. It was his secret sign to the world. It showed that no matter what he had to say or do to protect his people, in his heart, his faith was his real armor. Okay, let's do a quick word corner. First up, baptism. This is probably a word you know. It's that special ceremony where you're welcomed into the Christian family. It was a huge deal for both brothers, right? It gave Nobutake peace at the end of his life, and it gave Nobuhira his special name, Zhuan. Next word, renounce. To renounce your faith means you have to say out loud that you're giving it up. Lord Zhuan had to do this to protect people, which must have been so hard. But as we saw with the cross on his armor, even though he said the words, his heart secretly stayed true. So, now for the big finale, your awesome trip to Japan. What does this incredible story of secret samurai mean for your own adventure? Well, here's the most important thing to remember. Japan is just packed with amazing stories and different beliefs. And the best explorers, the very best ones, are people who are always respectful and always curious. This story shows us that you can find faith and bravery in places you never expect. So when you're there, keep your eyes open and your heart open too. The incredible story of the Tsugaru family is just one secret hiding in Japan's history. So the final question is for you. What amazing secrets are you going to discover on your adventure? Have an awesome trip, and thanks for exploring with me.